We're going to start in an easy seat. And if you're playing music with me, go ahead and let's start that together in 3, 2, and 1. Okay. And then as you establish your seat, just kind of shift a little side to side and forward and back. And the intention for this practice is for it to feel good. So we're just going to work to create a little more ease and openness in the body and the mind. Okay. You are welcome to close down your eyes or just take a soft gaze. Take a deep breath in through your nose, fill your lungs. And exhale out through your mouth. Let your weight drop down into your seat. Just letting your hips get heavy, feeling the weight of your legs, your base of support. And then just allow your breath to flow naturally in and out through your nose. Let your belly relax so your inhales travel all the way down into your low belly as it expands. And as you exhale, you can gently pull your navel in towards your spine, emptying out the breath, engaging slightly through your abdominals. With each inhale, let your shoulders fall away from your ears. Each exhale brings a little more softness and ease into your body and mind. And if your eyes are closed, please blink them open. And we'll transition into just a little moving meditation, some spinal movements with the breath. And so just begin as you inhale, lean forward. And as you exhale, round back, these seated cat's breaths. We've done this before. On your own, inhale forward. And exhale to round back. Good. This time, as you lean forward, we'll circle through the spine in mirror image to me. Lean to the left. Round your back, chin to chest. Lean to the right. And then take it forward and around. And if you don't do this often, most people don't, you might just have a small range of motion. And you might start to feel that gradually expand. But it takes time. Next time you lean forward, we'll change directions. Lean to the right, chin to chest, to the left, and then forward and around. Just really waking up your spine. You might get some creaks and snaps and crackles, little adjustments through your back. And then come back through the center. Take an inhale, stretch your arms up and overhead. And exhale, release your arms back down. And just like we did on Tuesday, you're welcome to add the little circle of your wrists if that feels good. So inhale as you lift and circle your wrists out. And exhale as you lower, you can circle the other direction. Good. And next time your hands lower, you can rest them on your thighs. Bring your attention back inside. You might Close your eyes or let your gaze widen and soften. And please blink your eyes back open and we'll transition to child's pose. So as you come into child's pose, touch your big toes together, widen your knees, rest your forehead down. You can stack your hands under your forehead if that feels better, on your shoulders, or have your arms extended out in front of you. Maybe sway your hips a little side to side if that feels okay for your knees. And if not, just enjoy some stillness. Inhale through your nose. Lungs expand. Exhale out through your nose. Let your hips get heavy. Soften through your upper back and shoulders. Good. And now please walk your arms out in front of you if you haven't yet. Take an inhale, lift up slightly, and walk your hands over to the right so that your torso moves towards your right thigh. Tent onto your fingertips, so slightly more active child's pose. You should feel a stretch, a lengthening in the left side of your waist. Keep your left hip rooted. So notice if it lifts up, just drop it down. Complete your exhale. And then change sides. Walk your hands over to the left, torso towards your left thigh. Keep your right hip anchored and breathe and lengthen into your right side waist. Complete your exhale. Walk your hands forward and transition to hands and knees. Coming into tabletop. Stack your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. Starting with cat's breath. Inhale, look forward, lift your tailbone. And exhale, round. Press the mat away as you drop your head. Stretch your back. And continue like that. Inhale, look forward, open up. And exhale to round. For this time, as you look forward, we're going to circle through the hips. So shift your hips to the right, back towards your heels, to the left, and forward and around. And remember, keep a little bend of your elbows to help to free your upper back as you circle your hips. And then change direction, circle the other way. Inhaling forward and exhaling back. Come back through the center. Good. Please extend your left leg long behind you, tuck your toes, and then just shift forward and back, stretching out through the back of your leg, your calf, your foot. Good. And then come to neutral. Press firmly into your hands. Pick up your left leg, stretch your left leg long. And now bend your left knee out to the side. So like towards your left armpit. Maybe even touch your left shoulder. Good. And then extend your left leg long behind you. Straight back. So inhale. Exhale, knee to the side and then towards your shoulder. And extend your leg long. Once more. Good. From here, step your left leg out to the side. So straighten your left leg out to the side. Plant your foot. You can't see my foot, but my toes are facing towards the front of my mat. And then just move around a little bit. You could bend and straighten your left leg. Opening up into your hips. Maybe you shift your hips forward and back. And then return your left leg, left knee to the mat. We'll change sides. Extend your right leg back, shift forward and back, stretching out through your calf, your heel, your foot, maybe your hamstring a little bit. And then come back to neutral. pick up your right leg, stretch through your toes, inhale. And as you exhale, bend your right knee out to the side and then towards your right armpit or shoulder, they might connect. Good, inhale, extend your right leg long behind you. And exhale, take it out to the side. Towards your right shoulder. Once more. Inhale. Exhale, knee to shoulder, and then straighten your right leg out to the side, set your foot down. And just as before, your toes might turn out slightly. That might feel better for your knee if you want to go into that bend of your right knee, side to side, forward and back. Kind of moving around, waking up your hips, opening up your hamstrings. Good. And then slow that down. Return your right knee to the mat. Good. Please tuck your toes under. Shift your hips back towards your heels. Active child's pose. Look forward. And we'll wave through the spine. So as you inhale, round forward, lift your hips, drop your head, cat pose. And then exhale, look forward, glide hips to heels. Active child's pose. Just continue like that. Inhale, round forward. Exhale, glide back. Last one. This time, as you glide back, start to lift your hips, press back, downward facing dog. Just take some time to pedal out through your feet, stretch through the backs of your legs. And then bend both knees, plant firmly into your hands, plug into all 10 fingertips and knuckles, and swivel your hips a little side to side, lengthening out through the sides of your waist. You can keep your knees bent or start to straighten your legs and drop your heels down. Inhale deeply through your nose. Exhale fully and completely. Okay, look forward and walk your feet to the top of your mat. Come into a standing forward fold. Soften your knees, hold opposite elbow, ragdoll. You can sway a little side to side. Head can drop. Slow your movements down, release your elbows, and slow motion roll up to standing one vertebrae at a time so that your head is the last to lift, and then roll your shoulders back at the top. With your arms at your sides, take an inhale, stretch your arms high. Exhale, soften your knees, fold forward. Lead with your sternum, hinge at your hips. Drop your head. Inhale, lift halfway, either fingertips to the floor or hands to your shins. Exhale, fold. Have your knees as bent as you need them to be. Again, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, fold. This time, as you inhale, lengthen. Shift your weight into your left foot, step your right foot back, come into a lunge. Set your right knee down. And inhale, lift your arms, low lunge. You can have your back toes tucked or untucked, depending on what feels more stable, better for your back knee. And take an inhale. And then as you exhale, start to straighten your front leg. We did this Tuesday. You can lower your hands to the mat or hover your hands by your hips. So half splits. Moving with your breath. Inhale forward and up through your arms. And exhale as your hips slide back. Good. Once more like that. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale to glide back. This time, as you bend your front knee, lift your arms, tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, crescent lunge. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. You can widen your front foot to the left as you glide your left hip back and then lift up through your sternum, fingertips, maybe your eyes. And take one more inhale. Exhale, lower your hands to the mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Complete your exhale. And inhale, round forward, plank pose. You might walk your hands forward so that your wrists are directly under your shoulders. And now swivel your heels to the right as you pick up your left arm. Side plank variation. Maybe lift your gaze. Inhale. Exhale, plant your left hand. Pick up your heels, swivel them to the left. And pick up your right arm. Option to lift your gaze. Take one more inhale. And exhale, lower your right hand. Lower your knees down. Half plank. Inhale here. And exhale, slow, lower all the way down to your belly. Untuck your toes. Slide your hands off the mat, tent to your fingertips. Open cobra. Inhale to lift up. Good. Exhale to lower. Feel that once more. Inhale, lift from the back of your heart. Head is the last lift. And then exhale, lower down. Slide your hands under your shoulders, tuck your toes, and press back, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Take an inhale, lift your right leg, bend your knee, open your hip. And then circle it out, pull knee to nose, out to the side, up and around. And the next time you pull your knee to your nose, look forward, step forward, low lunge. Give your foot a boost if you need to, and then set your back knee down. Inhale, lift your arms. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Just like we did on the other side. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, start to straighten your front leg. You can lower your fingertips to the mat or hover your hands towards your hips, fingertips past your hips. With your breath, inhale forward and up through your arms. And exhale, gliding back. Once more like that. This next time you bend your front knee, lift your arms. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, high crescent lunge. Make sure you're not on a tightrope. Front heel or front foot can widen to the right. And now glide your right hip back so your hips square. Lift up through your sternum, fingertips, and eyes. Take one more inhale. And exhale, lower your hands to the mat. Frame your front foot. Shift your weight back a little so you can spring forward, standing forward bend. Inhale, lift slightly. Exhale, fold. Micro bend your knees to come up with a flat back. Lead with the back of your heart. Lift your arms. Palms connect. Exhale. Hands lower towards your heart or rest at your sides. Mountain pose. Okay. So look down at your feet. See that they're parallel. They could either be hips distance apart or more traditional is big toes touching with your heels an inch or two apart. Okay. Setting up for chair pose. Bend your knees, sweep your hands forward and up. Inhale, like you're about to sit on the edge of a chair. As you exhale, take your arms out to the side. So we'll circle through the shoulders. We did this a little bit on Tuesday. Inhale, forward and up through the arms. And exhale, arms to the sides. Maybe sit a little deeper. Once more, inhale. Exhale, shoulders open, hips lower. And now inhale, straighten your legs, lift your arms, maybe lift your gaze. Exhale, fold forward. Drop your head. Inhale, lift slightly. Step your left foot back into a lunge. So same little sequence, set your back knee down. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hips glide back, fold, half splits. Inhale, forward and up, high crescent lunge. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee. It's a little faster this time. Good. Exhale, lower your hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Complete your exhale. Inhale, forward into plank. Shoulders over your wrists. Swivel your heels to the left. This time we'll circle through the top arm. Sweep your right arm back towards your hips, up towards the sky, and then overhead. Stretching your right fingertips away from your feet. Good. Plant your right hand, pick up your heels, change sides. Heels to the right. Sweep your left hand back towards your hips, up and overhead, and then forward, past the front of your mat. And exhale, lower. Come into plank pose, either knees down or straight legs. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to your belly. As you inhale, roll your shoulders back, come into cobra or upward dog. You'll slide your hands back about an inch. Press into your arms, lift your thighs. So it's just the tops of your feet and your hands on the mat. Take an inhale. And exhale, you can lower your knees or roll over your toes, downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. Exhale fully and completely. Take an inhale, lift your left leg, bend your knee, open your hip. And then circle it out. Pull knee to nose, out to the side, up and around. Like you're painting a big circle with your left knee. And the next time your knee pulls forward, look forward, step forward, lunge. Same sequence, set your back knee down. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, hips glide back, half splits. Inhale, forward and up, back knee lifts. Exhale, lower your hands. Shift your weight back a little to spring forward. Standing forward, fold. And same thing. You can have your feet a little wider. Or for more of a challenge, touch your big toes together. Tiny bit of space between your heels. Inhale, lift slightly, look forward. Exhale, fold. And now bend your knees, drop your hips like you're sitting on the edge of a chair. And on your next inhale, lift your arms, chair pose. Take your arms out to the sides, forward and up, circle it out. Inhale, arms lift. Exhale, arms open, sit a little deeper. Once more. Good. The next time you inhale, straighten your legs. Lift your arms. And exhale, arms either at your sides or hands to your heart, mountain pose. Take a breath, feel your feet, stand tall. And release your arms at your sides if they're not. Bend your knees, chair pose, just one breath, inhale. Good. From here, start to bend your knees, lower all the way down to your seat. Okay, so make sure you're on your mat. See that your feet are hip distance apart, maybe a little wider. Bring your hands to the fronts of your shins. Pull your hands into your shins to lift your chest and turn your toes out to the sides. So you're like reaching your chest forward between your thighs, a lot like cat's breath. We're going to reverse. Turn your toes forward, knock your knees together, round your back. Stretch it out. Exhale. With your breath, inhale. Pull on your shins, reach your chest forward, toes turn out. Exhale, round and stretch it out. Good. Once more like that. So with your toes pointing forward, lift up through your chest, come to more of a neutral spine. Reach your hands forward, just a little bit of core work. Take an inhale. And exhale, start to lower your lower back, your middle back, but keep your shoulders lifted. Good. Inhale here. Exhale, lift back up, stretch through your fingertips, lift through your sternum. Inhale, reach even more through your fingers. And then exhale, lower part way. Inhale on your back. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reach even more. And exhale, lower just part way. And again, inhale on your back. Shoulders stay lifted. Exhale, lift all the way up. Inhale, reach, extend. Exhale, lower just part way. Okay, we're gonna pause here. Plant your feet. And then tap your right fingertips towards your right knee or your thigh. Left fingertips towards left knee or thigh. And then flow side to side. You can just breathe naturally. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And release. Come onto your back. Extend your arms overhead. Extend your toes skywards, L shape through your body. Now reach your fingertips skywards as well. So fingers and toes reach up. And then just circle out through your ankles and your wrists a little bit. You can change directions of your circles if it's not too early for your brain to try to do that. My wrists will, I'm in control of my wrists, but not my feet. They're just doing whatever they want to do. Okay. Hug your knees into your chest, rock a little side to side. You can stay here or come into happy baby pose. Bend your knees towards your armpits and take hold of the outer edges of your feet or maybe your ankles or your shins, opening up through your hips. You could rock a little side to side. If that's too much of a stretch, just hug your knees to your chest to stretch out your lower back. And now hug knees to chest if you haven't yet. Hold the backs of your thighs and start to rock forward and back along your spine. Next time you rock up, see if you can just barely touch your toes to the mat and hover, lift your chest, and then rock back. This time as you rock up, see if you can keep your toes off the mat and find your balance. And rock back. Adding on, next challenge would be shins parallel. And rock back. Maybe this time you come up and you release your hands and or straighten your legs. Navasana boat pose. And then rock back. And rock up. 2 more. Rock back. You can always lower your feet to the mat as you come up. Last one. Good. And then bend your knees. Plant your feet. Widen your knees and reach forward and come into a squat. So you have your feet together, knees wide. It's okay if your heels are lifted. Tent onto your fingertips and then maybe swivel your hips a little to open up your lower back. It's also okay if your feet are a little wider, no problem. Take an inhale. Walk your hands in a little closer. Straighten your legs, separate your feet, forward fold. Take your feet even wider than your hips, so the width of your mat. Soften your knees, move around a little, let your hips sway, your head drop. Loosening up your back. Okay, now plant your right hand directly under your gaze. Bend your right knee. Extend your left arm high. So you could have your right hand on a block or some kind of prop if that makes this easier. Option to lift your gaze towards your left fingertips. So just a big open twist. Take an inhale. And exhale, change. So place your left hand under your gaze, bend your left knee. Sweep your right arm high. Option to lift your gaze towards your right fingertips. Inhale. And exhale to lower. Turn your heels in, toes out, bend your knees, squat down. Malasana. So you can have your hands to the floor. For more of a challenge, connect your palms together in front of your heart, elbows inside of your knees. Pressing your knees into your elbows and your elbows into your knees to elongate through your spine. Inhale deeply. Exhale, lower your hands, straighten your legs, and step back, downward facing dog. Good. Take an inhale, lift your right leg, bend your knee, open your hip. And as you exhale, pull your knee towards your nose, look forward, step forward, warrior two. So spin your back heel down, front knee bends over your ankle, and then windmill your arms up out to the sides. Take your hands to your hips for a moment. So for warrior two, your right toes face the front of your mat, and then the pinky toe side of your foot lines up with the short edge of your mat, approximately. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. Your hips are facing the long side of your mat, so they're not forward, they're towards the side. Okay, so from here, take your arms out to the sides. Keeping your base of your leg, spin your front palm up, your right hand up. Take your left hand either to your hip or down your back leg, exalted warrior. Keep the bend of your front knee as you reach through your top arm. And we're going to circle right arm in front of you. Take your right forearm all the way to your right thigh, side angle pose. Sweep your left arm up and over your ear. We'll circle it out. Sweep left arm in front of you towards your back leg. Take your right arm up and over. Inhale. Exhale, circle. Inhale through your left arm. Exhale around. Feel that once more side to side, and then we'll give your right thigh a little relief. Last one. Good. Come up through warrior two, arms open. And then straighten your front leg. What a relief. Triangle pose. Shift your hips back a little bit. Reach through your right fingertips. Notice if you're locking your right knee like I was, you want just a micro bend in your knee. And then lower your right hand to your shin or the floor, or even your right thigh, depending on how tight you're feeling today. Press firmly into all four corners of your feet, especially your front foot, big toe mound. Press down. Plug into your right fingertips, and then lift up through your left arm. Option to lift your gaze. Triangle pose. Take an inhale. As you exhale, lower your left hand, shift into a lunge. So bend your front knee, pick up your back heel, set your back knee down, and straighten your front leg a little or a lot, half splits. Okay, so this time we're going to hold the pose. Keep your legs as they are, but inhale, lift up slightly, lengthen through your spine, look forward. And exhale, fold. Couple of breaths here, opening up into your right hamstring. Softening through the back of your neck, your shoulders, upper back. On your next inhale, bend through your right knee. Place your hands inside of your right foot and turn your toes out, right toes at a diagonal, so toes to the right. Walk your left hand to the left, so off of your mat a little bit. Setting up for twisted monkey pose, place your right hand to your right thigh and tuck your back toes under for a moment. So turn your torso to the right. You can stay here or start to bend your back knee, reach your right hand back to clasp the outside edge of your foot, adding a shoulder opening and a deeper quad stretch. Press firmly into your front foot and hand to lift up through your sternum and curl back. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release your foot if you're holding it. Reframe your right foot with your hands. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee, and send your right leg up and back. Three-legged dog, bend your knee, open your hip. Okay, so you can stay here or experiment with flipping your dog with me. So you'll start to lift your left heel, turn to the outer edge of your left foot, tent to your right fingertips, and then set your right foot back behind you. Wild thing pose. Some of you are still in three-legged downward dog. Some of you are in child's pose, just giving your wrists a break. And take an inhale. And exhale, travel back, downward facing dog. Inhale, round forward. Lower your knees down. Sit back on your heels. If that's not comfortable, you can sit cross-legged instead. Rest your hands on your thighs or in your lap and just pause a moment to breathe and feel and let all of that movement settle. Like as if your body was a big snow globe and we're just shaking it up and stirring it up with movement and creating circulation. I'll just let all of that settle and get grounded. Reconnect with the simple flow of your breath, just noticing your inhales and your exhales. And let's transition back through hands and knees and into downward facing dog. So this will be our last kind of stronger standing flow. We've got the other side. So take an inhale, lift your right leg or left leg, bend your knee, open your hip. And as you exhale, look forward, step forward, lunge. Setting up for warrior two, spin your back heel down and windmill your arms up. Bring your hands to your hips for a moment. Check the alignment of your feet. So your left toes face forward, left knee is over your ankle. Your right foot, the back foot, the pinky toe side lines up with the short edge of your mat, and then your hips are opening to the side of your mat, the long edge of your mat. Extend your arms out to the sides. Spin your left palm up. Bring your right hand either to your right hip or down your back leg. Exalted warrior. Keep the bend of your front knee as you stretch through your left fingertips. Inhale. And then circle it out. Circle left arm in front of you. Lower forearm to thigh. Reach your right arm up and over your ear. Circle right arm in front of you. And then take it up. Left arm reaches. Inhale. Exhale. Side angle pose. Parshvakonasana. Inhale through your right arm. Exhale around. Once more, side to side. Last one. I know most of you are feeling it in your quad. I know I am. Come back up through warrior two. And then straighten your left leg. Ah, feels so good. Shift your hips back. As you reach through your left fingertips, make sure you're not locking your left knee. Triangle pose. Lower your left hand either to your thigh, your shin, or the floor. Right arm high. Anchor down into your feet, especially your front foot, the big toe mound. Kind of like that fleshy mound underneath your big toe. As you plug into your left fingertips, stretch your right arm high. Maybe look up. Take an inhale. Exhale, lower your hands to frame your front foot. Come back into a lunge. So front knee bends, back heel lifts. Lower your right knee down. Straighten your left leg, half splits. And it's okay, like I said, if your left leg's not all the way straight, no problem. You're still getting a good hamstring stretch, no matter what it looks like. Take an inhale, lift up through your torso a little bit, glide your left hip back. And then as you exhale, fold. Deepen your breath as you settle into the pose. Right, and now bend your front knee. Place your hands inside of your foot and heel toe your foot to the left. Turn your toes out to the left so they're at a diagonal. Walk your right hand to the right. It might even come off of your mat, setting up for twisted monkey pose. Tuck your back toes if they're not. Place your left hand to your left thigh. Turn your torso to the left. You can stay here or bend your back knee, reach your left arm back to clasp your foot. And then recommit to your front foot and hand, pressing downwards. From there, lift up through your sternum, maybe curl back. And breathe. Take one more inhale. Exhale, slow release of your foot. If you're holding it, reframe your front foot with your hand. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and press back. Three-legged dog. Left leg high, bend your knee, open your hip. Okay, so you can stay here or move with me towards flipping your dog into wild thing. Pick up your right heel, spin to your outer right foot, tent to your left fingertips. And then as you're ready, you'll pick your left arm up, set your left foot behind you, wild thing pose. Inhale deeply. And exhale, travel back, downward facing dog. Inhale, round forward to tabletop. Set your knees down, untuck your toes, and sit back on your heels. Or sit in another way, cross-legged, however you prefer. Again, let all of that movement and circulation settle as your hips get heavy. But at the same time, stay lifted and elongate through your spine. Complete your exhale. And then let's transition to hands and knees. And all the way down onto your belly. With your hands under your shoulders, bend your knees. Reach your fingertips back towards your ankles. If it's there for you, clasp your ankles. If not, just keep reaching back. If you're holding your ankles, press your feet into your hands, bow pose. Down your asana. Exhale, lower slightly. And then inhale, lift up a little more. A couple of breaths like that. Exhale, find some ease. Inhale to lift. One more breath. And then let it all go. Lower, stack your hands under your forehead. You can bend your knees and kind of windshield wiper your legs to loosen up your lower back. And then slow that down. Straighten your legs out. Take your hands under your shoulders. Rest your right cheek on the mat. And take your right arm to the side, palm facing down. Bend through your left knee. And start to roll to your right side. You can set your foot to the mat. So we did this the other day. If you want to add a fun variation, you might take your right hand to the inner edge of your left foot. And then scoot your hips forward a little bit. Tent onto your left fingertips to create a lever to twist from. And then maybe even reach your left hand back, clasping your foot with both hands. Keep pressing your hips forward and reaching your right leg long. And some of you are in the earlier stages, maybe just with your left foot to the mat, and you're getting a really good stretch there. Take one more inhale. And then exhale, release. Come back to your belly. Stack your hands under your forehead. Sway your hips a little to release your lower back. And then place your hands under your shoulders. Rest on your left cheek. Take your left arm out to the side, palm facing down. Bend your right knee. And then roll to the left. Step your right foot behind you. This could be plenty. The next stage would be to reach your right toes towards your left hand to possibly clasp. And then scoot your hips forward as you reach your left leg long. Maybe even reaching back with both hands to hold your foot. And slow release. Come back to your belly. And rest. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Press back through hands and knees and into downward facing dog. You can swivel your hips or just enjoy stillness in downward dog. And take an inhale, lift your right leg, open your hip. And as you exhale, come into pigeon prep. Send your knee to your outer right wrist. Take your foot to the left. And then slide your left leg long. And remember, if that's too much, you could have your left knee bent out to the side. Still getting that outer hip stretch. So before we fold, tuck your back toes, tent to your fingertips, maybe walk your hands back. Lift your hips slightly so you feel this hugging in. Maybe lift your arms. Take an inhale. And then exhale, fold. Walk your hands out in front of you. Either coming to your forearms or your forehead. Deepen your breath, and with each exhale, soften, release any tension you don't need for this pose. So the upper back, shoulders, the muscles of your face and jaw. Complete your exhale. And then inhale to come up. Lean to the right, setting up for seated spinal twist. Swing your left leg around, step your foot over your front knee. So you have your left leg on top, hug your shin, lengthen your spine. Twist to the left, take your left arm back behind you. Wrap your right arm around your shin or hook your elbow outside of your knee. Inhale, find even more length. You could even tent to your left fingertips. And exhale, twist, option to look over your left shoulder. Complete your exhale. And slowly untwist. So keeping your right leg where it is, just take your left leg out towards the back of your mat. So you have your left leg straight, right knee bent, right sole of your foot to your left thigh. Lower your left forearm to your thigh or elbow to the inside. Take your right hand to your right hip and turn your torso to the side. Roll your right shoulder back. And then extend your right arm high. Just circle through the top arm. So take your right fingertips towards the front of your mat, towards your right hip. Sweep your hand forward and up towards your left toes. And then back and around. So again, like you're painting a big circle with your right arm. The next time you reach your fingertips towards your left toes, pause there. If that creates strain in your lower back, just reach your right arm straight up instead. Maybe lift your gaze. Inhale, come up to seated. Turn your torso towards your left toe. So you might slide your left hip back a little bit. Inhale, lift your arms. Lengthen your spine, reach. And as you exhale, start to fold. Keep stretching toward your toes. Lead with your heart. Hinge at your hips and then lower your hands wherever they fall. Thigh, shin, ankle, foot. And take an inhale, lift up a little bit. And exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, come back up. We're going to transition back to downward dog. So bend your left knee out to the side. Swivel your hands towards the front of your mat. Pick up your hips and press back down dog. You can join me in waving through the spine or just rest. You could even take a child's pose. Or inhale, round forward, plank pose. Exhale, bend your knees, glide back, downward dog. 2 more like that. And remember, this is optional. We're just cooling down, winding down. So if you need to do less, please listen to your body. Good. And then meeting in downward dog, inhale, lift your left leg. Bend your knee, open your hip. And then send your knee to your outer left wrist. Take your foot across to the right. Chin prep, slide your right leg long. Have your toes tucked at first. And remember, you can always have your right knee bent out to the side to modify. tent to your fingertips. You might walk your hands back, find a little back bend. Hug in at your hips to lift them a little, and maybe lift your arms just for a breath. And then exhale, fold into pigeon. Complete your exhale. And walk your hands in. Lean to the left. Swing your back leg around. Step your foot over your front knee. Seated spinal twist. So you have your right leg on top. Hug your shin, lengthen your spine. Twist to the right. Right arm back. You can wrap your left arm around your leg or hook your elbow outside of your knee. And inhale, sit up even taller. Create more space. Exhale, twist. Option to look over your back shoulder. Complete your exhale. And then slowly untwist. Okay, so you've got your left leg on the ground. Just going to swing the right leg out to the side, right toes towards the back of your mat. So you've got your right leg straight, left knee bent, left foot to right thigh. Please lower your right forearm to your right thigh or take your elbow inside of your knee. Bring your left hand to your left hip and roll your left shoulder back, lean back, turn your torso to the side. And from here, extend your left arm up. Okay, we're going to circle through the left arm. So take your left fingertips towards the front of your mat, forward out in front of you, towards your right toes, and then up and around. Twice more. And the next time you reach your left fingertips forward, we'll pause there. And again, if that's too much, you could reach your left arm straight up instead. Option to lift your gaze. Inhale, come up to your seat. Turn your torso towards your right toes. That might mean that your left knee slides forward a little bit. Inhale to lengthen your spine. And exhale, fold. Again, holding on to what you've got. Take an inhale, lift up just slightly, make some more space. And exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, come up. You're gonna bend your right knee, place your hands to the front of your mat and swivel, press back, downward facing dog. And then just walk your feet forward, coming into a forward fold at the top of your mat. feet hips distance, bend your knees. If you want to add a shoulder stretch, interlace your hands behind your back, extending your arms overhead, maybe straightening your legs. And then release your hands if they're clasped. Bend your knees, drop your seat, and lower down onto your back. As you come onto your back, hug your knees to your chest, rock a little side to side. Let's take an easy spinal twist. Lower your feet to the mat. Take your arms out to the sides like a T or a cactus. Scoot your hips to the left a little so you can lower your knees to the right. Place your right hand on your opposite thigh. You can add a neck stretch by turning your gaze to the left. Inhale deeply, exhale fully. Complete your exhale. And then return to your back, hug your knees to your chest. We'll set up for the other side. Lower your feet to the mat, arms to the sides. Shift your hips to the right as you lower your knees to the left. Place left hand to opposite thigh. Option to turn your gaze to the right if that checks out okay for your neck. And then return to your back. Hug knees to chest, rock side to side. You can stay with this or take happy baby pose. Again, knees to your outer ribs, hands to your outer feet, ankles. Maybe rock side to side. And then release into your final relaxation pose. That could be knees bent and touching with your feet wide. You could straighten your legs with your feet as wide as your hips or wider. And then your arms can rest at your sides, palms facing up. If you prefer, hands resting on your torso. There's no right or wrong, just creating comfort for yourself, comfort and ease. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then exhale out through your mouth. Now just let your breath flow naturally in and out through your nose. And please begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your ankles and your wrists. Slowly stretching. You can start to move in your own way. Sometimes I like to rub my face to wake up. And then take your arms overhead, bend your knees. Let's roll to one side. And using the least amount of effort, press into your hands to come up to your seat. Just find an easy cross-legged seat or however you're most comfortable. Take a moment, shift side to side, forward and back. You can rest your hands on your thighs or connect your palms together in front of your heart as we close our practice today. Just taking a moment to remember any insights that might have come to you, any stretches that felt really good that you maybe want to do again later today or later in your week. And let's bow chin to chest and head to heart. And as you're ready, lift your gaze, open your eyes, shift your attention back out into your day.